Hello parents, in this video we are going to discuss isolating the variable. In other words, variables on one side of the equal sign and numbers on the other side of the equal sign. For example, if I have an equation 2x plus 4 is equal to 12, I have a variable on the left side with a number, and I have another number on the right side. Some students can just figure it out. 2 times a number plus 4 is equal to 12. So therefore, in this case, x is equal to 4. But not all problems are this easy. So in addition to combining like terms, students need to know how to isolate a variable. For this problem, I can subtract 4 from both sides. And now I have 2x is equal to 8. I can divide both sides by 2 to get that x is equal to 4. I went one step further with this problem in terms of solving for a variable, but this concept will be covered in another video shortly. What if we have a negative variable or a number? For example, negative 4x minus 6 is equal to 14. I can add 6 to both sides. So therefore, I have negative 4x is equal to 20. This looks a little strange, but I can divide both sides by negative 4 to get that x is equal to negative 5. I could have added both sides by 4x and subtracted both sides by 14. So therefore, I am left with 4x on the right side, and I have negative 20 on the left side. Divide both sides by 4. I get x is equal to negative 5. I did this problem two ways because there is no right way to get to an answer. There is a way with less steps, like the first way. I solved it the second way because some students have trouble with negatives. It isn't a difficult concept, but isolating the variable doesn't make sense with some students. So sometimes I say that we have to make the variable lonely or by itself. I've heard some teachers call it getting rid of the hitchhiker, that this number or this number is a hitchhiker. Or some teachers give a simple way where we just do the opposite of what we're trying to isolate. So in this case, we took the opposite of negative 6, which is a positive 6. Though these little tricks can be helpful to many students, I prefer for students to really think about what they're doing with these numbers in isolating the variable. The point is to explain it in a way that your child understands, to put the variable on one side and numbers on the other side. But the variable does not always have to be on the left side. So if I take this example of 4 plus 3 is equal to 6x minus 11, some kids get stuck with variables having to be on the left side and do extra work. So in this case, we will start with combining like terms of 4 and 3. So we get 7 is equal to 6x minus 11. And because they're used to seeing variables on the left side, they might want to subtract 6x from both sides. I get negative 6x plus 7 is equal to negative 11. Then I'll subtract 7 from both sides. And now I have negative 6x is equal to negative 18. I can divide both sides by negative 6. And I get x is equal to positive 3. But it would have been much easier to combine 4 and 3, add 11 to both sides, and you get 18 is equal to 6x. I'll just very quickly show the math. I watch for this with many of my students because I don't want students to have artificial rules and do extra work. For me, the less steps, the less likelihood of making a mistake. What if we have variables on both sides of the equation? Is it combining like terms, or is it isolating the variable? As a parent, I don't really care, but as a tutor, I just want the kids to show their work so that your teachers can understand what they're doing. So here is an example. 4x minus 5 is equal to 20 minus x. I will add x to both sides to get 5x minus 5 is equal to 20. I can add 5 to both sides to get 5x is equal to 25. I can divide both sides by 5 to get x is equal to 5. Another common mistake that I look for with students is that sometimes what they might try to do is they might try to subtract or add just the variable. So let's take the simple example of 5x is equal to x plus 20. And what a student might try to do is to subtract x from both sides, and instead of understanding that there's 5 of something, they'll just try to subtract that something where 5 is equal to 20. Well, of course, this doesn't make sense. So in a very patient way, explain to your child that obviously 5 does not equal to 20, and that in this equation there are 5 of some unknown, or 5 of even an apple or something like that, and you're subtracting an apple from both sides, where you are getting now there are 4 apples left, you're left with 20, and now this x is equal to 5. There are many variations in solving for these types of problems, in combining like terms and isolating the variable. So in my opinion, practice is really the best way to encounter all the different permutations or different ways that a teacher can ask a question in solving for a one variable equation. I hope as a parent that this helped you to understand isolating the variable, and I thank you for watching.